So, you want to become a Grey Warden, do you? Well, the process is simple. First, you become a Grey Warden recruit. Second, they send you out to go kill some Darkspawn and collect their blood. And then there is the most important step, the ritual. After completing the ritual, known among the Wardens as the Joining, you are a full Grey Warden. But there is a lot they don't tell you, and for good reason. There is a price, you see. A price you must be willing to pay, even if you make it past the last step. Oh yes, a lot of people don't make it past the last step. Ever wondered why the Grey Wardens are so secretive about it all? Why you never see any failed Grey Warden recruits? That's because they're all dead. And that's just one of the many secrets the Grey Wardens keep. So, you want to become a Grey Warden, do you? Just know, there is a price you must be willing to pay. And once you commit, there is no turning back. The Grey Wardens. They are the defenders of Thedas, the slayers of archdemons. They are absolutely necessary in order to truly defeat a blight. They have special abilities that give them an edge over the Darkspawn in their battles with them. But it's not just their own skill that gives them these abilities. It is not their strength, nor their wit. It is their connection to the Blight, and by extension the Darkspawn, that makes the Grey Wardens stand out from any other soldier or knight. And it is their connection to the Blight that gives them the ability to truly slay an archdemon. The only way of becoming a Grey Warden and getting that connection is by going through a special ritual known as the Joining. During the Joining, a Warden recruit drinks from a chalice filled with a liquid made from various ingredients, the main one being Darkspawn blood. After that, the Warden is considered a full Grey Warden. But the Joining is not without risk. In fact, many Grey Warden recruits don't survive, and those that do are changed forever. This is why the Grey Wardens are so secretive about it, as they fear far fewer people would be willing to join their cause if they knew what the Joining entails. But before I go into further detail about that, let's first back up a bit and look at where the Joining comes from. Long ago, in the ancient times during the First Blight, the Grey Wardens were founded with the goal of defeating the Darkspawn and the Archdemon for good. Check out my other videos if you want more information about the First Blight or the Grey Wardens' history as a whole, but for now, the most important thing to know is that the Archdemon couldn't be slain by regular warriors, as each time it was killed, it would simply return. By developing the Joining ritual, the Grey Wardens gave themselves the means to slay the Archdemon for good. It is unknown how exactly the ritual was developed. Many theories exist though. One of them claims that someone from the Donarch suggested drinking Darkspawn blood in order to absorb their power. Tevinter mages, who commonly used blood magic, confirmed that there was power in blood, and so the Grey Wardens gave it a try. It is also said that elven slaves provided ancient Arlathan knowledge as well. Ever since, recruits of the Order are put through the Joining in order to become true Grey Wardens. So what actually goes into this strange, potentially lethal Grey Warden cocktail? The Wardens keep their cards close to their chest when it comes to, well, everything really, but in regards to the Joining, those details are especially kept a strict secret. The idea of joining the Wardens would probably not even be half as attractive to people if they knew they would have to drink Darkspawn blood in order to join, and that they might even die if they do so. I imagine the Wardens also wouldn't want any random outsiders to try and recreate the Joining for themselves because they want to play the hero. There are a few things that we do know, though. The mixture is always drunk from a silver chalice, and contains fresh Darkspawn blood, a single drop of Archdemon blood, lyrium, and it is prepared with magic to make it even remotely possible to consume. In order for the Joining to work, the corrupted blood used needs to be of sufficient potency to have an immediate effect. It's not just about the quantity of blood that is consumed. It needs to be a high concentration of corruption in a short span of time. This is where the Archdemon blood plays an important role, as it intensifies the effect of the corruption, ensuring a desired outcome. Of course, Archdemon blood is very rare, and not always available. In those cases, the blood of other Darkspawn creatures can be used if magically treated to make it potent enough to be used in a ritual. Though your average Darkspawn doesn't have enough corruption in his blood for it to work most of the time. While there are copies of how to perform the Joining ritual, they are encrypted and stored away in secret caches along with a supply of Archdemon blood. Some archdemon blood is given to older wardens to carry with them and use it whenever it's needed. So now that we've made our disgustingly corrupted bloody beverage of death, it is time to find some poor, hopeful recruits to feed it to. Anyone with potential can be recruited into the Wardens. It doesn't matter if they are a simple adventurer, a rich noble, or a petty thief. If someone shows promise, they are a valid candidate. Once someone has been officially recruited, they receive the formal title of Warden Recruit. In preparation of the joining, and as part of their test, the Warden recruits are sent out to kill Darkspawn and collect some of their blood. More often than not, the recruits are accompanied by an experienced Grey Warden. Once the recruits return with the collected blood, a veteran Warden will prepare the joining chalice and make sure everything is in order for the ritual to start. After the preparations are done, all the recruits taking part in the joining are gathered, and only a few formal words are spoken.
Join us, brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten, and that one day we shall join you.
After this, the chalice is handed to the Warden recruit, who then drinks from it. No one is really sure what determines whether a Warden recruit survives the ritual or not. For most, the corruption proves too much for their bodies, and they die on the spot. Some believe it is related to one's mental fortitude. They believe that if someone has doubts about the ritual or their commitment to the Wardens, they will surely fail their joining. While someone's mental state can definitely affect their overall health, and being in a healthy, positive state of mind certainly helps, I think it's not as much about mental fortitude, and it's more a case of physical health combined with whether or not your body will accept the corruption rather than reject it. I've seen people compare it to an allergy, and I think that's a pretty accurate comparison. The Darkspawn corruption is definitely not something that belongs in your body, so for most, it will naturally be rejected, while some are just lucky, I guess. Warden recruits that don't survive their joining keep their title and are considered Wardens regardless, and their names are kept in the archives of Weishaupt in honor of their sacrifice. Once a Warden recruit has been told what the joining ritual entails, they must go through with it. If a recruit refuses to drink, they are killed by the Grey Warden overseeing the ceremony to make sure the Order's secrets don't get out. That sounds very sus saying it out loud now. Yep, this sounds like some sort of crazy cult. Which, I mean, depending on who you ask, the Wardens might be. But let's save that discussion for another time. Warden recruits that are lucky enough to survive the joining pass out briefly after drinking from the chalice, and have visions of Darkspawn, and might even see and hear the Archdemon if their joining takes place during a blight. When they wake up, they are declared a full Grey Warden, and they receive a specially crafted amulet filled with Darkspawn blood to remember those that didn't make it. Sometimes a list of names is written down, adding "I remember you" after each one. A Warden that survives the joining is changed forever. By drinking Darkspawn blood, the Warden becomes corrupted. Through the corruption, they share a connection to the Darkspawn as well as the Archdemon. The Warden can sense the Darkspawn, and they in turn can sense the Warden. Many think Grey Wardens are immune to the Blight sickness. They are only half right. Wardens don't catch the Blight when they are near Darkspawn because they already carry the corruption through the joining, but the effects of it are slowed. Over time, the corruption will spread further into their body, and their ability to sense the Darkspawn becomes stronger. At some point, the Warden will begin to hear the call of the old gods, often described as a song more beautiful than anything the Warden has ever heard, which they constantly hear in their mind. The Warden's body will start to succumb to the corruption, slowly turning them into a ghoul and compelling them to join the Darkspawn horde. This process is referred to as the calling, and once a Grey Warden starts to hear the calling, they travel to the Deep Roads to seek an honorable death, as they fight and take down as many Darkspawn with them as they can. As a result of the corruption in their bodies, Wardens have shorter lifespans than non-Wardens. I imagine the exact number of years depends on the Warden and how old the Warden is when they take the joining, but most have about 30 years before the corruption starts to consume their bodies. Apart from their shortened lifespans, Wardens also suffer from decreased fertility, and many of them also experience extreme hunger for some time after the ritual. Some even become physically stronger after the joining. Something all Wardens experience is the nightmares. Wardens dream of Darkspawn, and when they dream of an archdemon, it is taken as a sign that there is a real blight on the horizon. Through these dreams, the Wardens can hear how the archdemon talks to the Darkspawn, and they feel it just like the Darkspawn do. As they get used to the corruption, the Wardens eventually learn to block most of the dreams out, and some older Grey Wardens are even able to understand the archdemon. Before the 5th Blight, it was speculated that the corrupted blood could grant a Grey Warden even more powerful abilities than just sensing Darkspawn. However, the few Grey Warden scholars that believed this never actually investigated this further due to lack of evidence and the potential risks involved. The only one to ever test this theory was a Warden mage named Avernus, whose experiments on his fellow Wardens resulted in a way to slow the spread of the corruption within the Warden even further, as well as the development of an alchemical concoction that unlocks powerful abilities in those who drink it. In the long history of the Wardens, people have not been the only ones that have gone through the joining. Some Wardens put their dogs through the joining. Those that survive are considered full members of the Order. Griffins, the mighty beasts that were once loyal companions to the Wardens, were also put through the joining at some point. During the 4th Blight, a Warden mage by the name of Isaiah developed a modified version of the joining and used it on the Griffins in order to make them more powerful against the Darkspawn. The ritual did not have the same effect as it did on humans, and it made the creatures extremely aggressive. The corruption that the joined griffins carried developed into a highly contagious disease that affected non-joined griffins as well, and ultimately resulted in near extinction of the mighty creatures. A recently discovered clutch of griffin eggs seems to be the only hope for a future for the griffins now. Isaiah's modification to the joining wasn't the only case of the joining being altered and used on other creatures. An intelligent Darkspawn by the name of the Architect discovered that Darkspawn stop hearing the call of the old gods when they drink the blood of Grey Wardens. He was able to reverse engineer the joining ritual and created his own version that used Grey Warden blood instead of that of Darkspawn. Altered or not, the joining ritual is still dangerous, and a lot of the finer details remain a mystery to us outsiders. Whether these secrets will be revealed to us in the future, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? If we're lucky, we might even find out soon. For now, this is all that we know of the dark secrets behind the joining. So, still want to join the Wardens? Now you know what it takes. Tell me, is it a price you are willing to pay? Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, let me know by liking this video. And stay tuned for more Dragon Age content and all the lore you need to know in preparation for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Or leave a comment and let me know what you think of the Wardens and their secrets. Would you want to take the joining and become a Warden? Do you think you'd survive? Is there any specific topic you'd like me to talk about? Feel free to let me know. If you want to support the channel, check out my Patreon, or join my Discord server and let's continue discussing all our favorite Dragon Age topics there. That's it for now though, thanks again for watching and I hope to see you on the next one.